for this video, I'm like the audio bite and everything. I'm I feel like I just want to do like a cold open and just kind of like go off of it,
Yeah.
and then not even do the intro, just like okay, this is it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Let's talk about like the year and everything.
hmm
But yeah, welcome everybody to our end of year video. Um,
Hello.
hello.
We have arrived at the end of one of the years that will surely be regarded as uh
The top year.
one
It's a
of
top year for San
it's one of
Francisco.
the top years for San Francisco. Almost 3 years in. Well, just over two. And we wanted to put something out really quickly at the end of the year to let you know that there is more content coming first of the year. Um, and also just to thank everybody for listening and
Yeah,
paying attention to us.
it is
um,
insane every time I talk about like the podcast to like people I know or like new people. It's just kind of like, oh, I I guess for me, I kind of undermine like how much work both of us are doing. Which is like, I don't kind of like going through the motions, but whenever people actually like kind of like when I stop to see like, oh, how much we've done over the course of the year, it's kind of crazy to like think about that and actually like see that for what it is instead of like what I think it what I think it is sometimes.
yeah,
Um, yeah, as a creative, you just tend to kind of like not make a big deal out of it until like something really blows up, and then I don't know, just something about like knowing your worth as an artist or something or as a creative is just kind of always funny to me. But um,
yeah.
just
No, and
want to yeah,
as somebody who has struggled with self-confidence. It still feels like a bit of an imposter every time that I open my mouth and start speaking the news or start interviewing somebody on the podcast. It's pretty. I think it's useful to like look back and say like, oh, we did close to 50 episodes this year. We have,
crazy,
yeah, like, a, you know,
crazy.
couple thousand people at least listening to each of the episodes, which is dope. Um, that reminds me, if you have not yet, please go and hit subscribe on our YouTube, which is one of my pet projects for 2025 to kind of build that up. Because right now, yeah, I think not a lot of people know that we exist on YouTube as well. And then they can check
Oh
out,
wow,
yeah, some of Tofu's edits. Uh,
yes. Yeah, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow us on our own socials, subscribe to the Patreon if you can. I just kind of want to go over some like analytics or stuff. Um, so it's been like a year since you and I have worked together, and kind of really pushed, I guess, San Francisco to what it is now. So for our Patreon, last like this time last year, we had around five paid subscribers to the Patreon. Now we have 53. That is
dope.
insane. That
Yeah,
is
no, that's great.
insane to me.
That
And
is
it's
a huge that's
and
such a
then
huge thing for, like it's a motivator. Like as even if you can't throw down, it's been super helpful to hear that people are finding it useful in whatever way as fascism creeps further and further into our everyday and
oh my
as
god.
the traditional media sort of falters in um, being a good source uh, for information, including some of the sources that I have worked for in the past as a journalist. A lot of these places keep on platforming people that are already in power and sort of gaslighting the rest of us into trying to get us to forget about some pretty important things, i.e., Palestine, i.e., getting us to just have faith in that the magnanimous billionaires in the world are going to do right by us and that capitalism is the best way forward for all of us. Yeah, so it's been amazing to hear that it is useful in some way. So thank you
Yeah.
for sending your notes in, your messages.
Yeah. Every time there's like a Patreon subscriber, it makes my day. The first
Yeah,
reaction is my first reaction is why? Second reaction is thank you. Third reaction is kind of like, this is amazing. This is
yeah,
great.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. I mean, people are looking for more like people. There's a mistrust that is well earned by traditional media, and people are looking more and more to people to give some analysis of the news, um, to bring news that is platforming people that aren't already in power,
yeah.
and hopefully, yeah, we can continue. I mean, the plan is to continue to do that for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, even for me prior to like working with you, like I didn't really well, I have like some like just like sources and stuff from like just every like other like news publications I like been following, like Rappler, AJ Plus, Vice and stuff. But I didn't really like have much since I was just kind of like looking at whatever articles on Instagram or Twitter and like some, I guess, like videos on YouTube. But that's just like emphasizing how much I didn't rely on like traditional media anymore until
Yeah,
like it's something like big that I already knew about.
yeah,
And so working with you gave me the opportunity to see like so many other different people in like our local area to
yes.
see like how much work they've been like doing and also just like other new creators like too. So there's the podcast you did like recently like collabed with was just like millennials are killing capitalism.
Mm-hmm.
I was like Doom Loop Dispatch,
Yeah,
and also like a bunch of other like reporters and like creatives too in the space that I've just been able to meet within this past year,
yeah.
which
No,
is
that has been
crazy.
tight. Like in terms of not, having lost so much faith in traditional corporate media and having this as an outlet where I get to actually meet people who are similarly as like sort of obsessed with getting information out to more people, has been amazing. And it's like not any one of us is going to be able to like give people the entire like every genre of news at all times. So yeah, it's important that we keep collaborating, I think, with other small creators.
Yeah, and I'm like I feel like this year especially is like the year for creatives. I think every year is the year for creatives. So it's not only in like just news and like or like other like production wise. It's just kind of like every single like community that I've like listened to or like been a part of or just been a fan of. There's so many like independent creators and communities or just like publications that have been like coming up onto themselves or like being like creative themselves, kind of like us. Um, where it's just like there's gonna be more power and more um I guess money going to the actual creators creating the content instead of just
Mm,
kind of these corporations who are underpaying their artists, their contractors, their writers, their editors, or everything. And
yeah,
so I'm glad that people are taking it like some of the very talented people who are taking it upon themselves to make something independently themselves. It is so much work, but I'm so glad that I'm seeing a lot of new creatives just kind of like pop up in every different type of a community and genre and niche.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. I mean, the traditional models are broken, so something needs to crack, and yeah, hopefully, we can all figure out a way to make this more sustainable in the near future. But yeah, I mean, for now, we don't plan on stopping. I am stoked that we got to do something that I forgot to mention, which is we did like maybe 6 live shows in the Bay
oh
Area
yeah. Oh yeah.
over the past year, and that was tight. Like,
I, I I totally forgot our first time meeting in person was our first live show.
right, right
That
at
is
QAF
yeah. Oh my God. That
in the
was back
Castro.
in May. That was oh my
Yeah,
God.
yeah,
This is
yeah.
just
Yeah, and then pulled you up onto the stage at the Brava Theater in August.
I was just like,
That was a tight moment.
I was just like, what? Why are we?
Yeah, for
I
Salon
was just like,
Hala.
why are we on this stage? Why am I on this stage?
Yeah, no, exactly.
Uh,
I always am going to feel that way a little bit, but
same.
and yet I
Yeah,
persist, and yet
yeah,
my
and then
mouth opens and words come out.
yeah, and then just being accepted and being a part of the Hala Collective, just
Mm-hmm.
like and being able to like
Yeah,
meet so many different artists in the Hala Collective because of that salon back in September was so great. Background, we did like some like interviews for the artists that performed at that event, and their artist those interviews are going to come out soon, so
yeah.
audition to like more content in the year. So if you're just like listening and everything, just yeah, going to be
And
more of that content.
another Salon Hala collab with Mama Ganuush, who I think guested this year more than any other. An excuse
She's
for us to hang out with Mama Ganuush.
she's like on every other week, so I'm just like
Might as well just do something regular,
yeah,
make it a date. So an excuse to hang out on a regular basis with Mama Ganuush is coming on uh, Wednesdays of the new year, starting January 1st. We're going to start putting out episodes of AIPAC Zombies, basically little dossiers on uh, ascendant Zionists out in US culture right now that everybody needs to keep an eye on. And then on Wednesdays, we will have fresh, uh, San Francisco episodes that you know and love, the interviews with people who are doing like interesting things in the Bay Area, or beyond, talking about white supremacy, talking about greed, talking about neoliberalism. And yeah, I'm really stoked to
yeah,
be doing this and that people are actually paying attention.
yeah. So just reflecting on like this past year and everything, um, just comparing like us, like I guess our relationship from this time last year, is when we first started to come in contact with like
Yeah.
starting to plan everything. And the first episode I edited was about what was it? I
Was it with
think it
Charlie?
was yes, it was with Charlie
Charlie
Hinton, and
Hinton?
he was talking about Bagel, which is Bay Area Gay Liberation, um back in the 70s. First off, there was an audio corruption in that file where it's just kind of like fucked up a little, but I was able to make it work. It was like my first technically like
Thank
I guess other
you.
audio like gig
Thank
with that.
you.
Um and so that was like and I guess like the episodes right I think the episode after that was with Mama Ganuush and hearing that first recording and of you talking. I posted on my personal story during that. But it's just like it made me cry just hearing Mama Ganoush's story for the first time and just
Yeah,
hearing how
yeah,
they have to kind of like live with the whole reality of so many like family like just dying. Um
yeah,
yeah, and if you know me personally, like I've lost so many family members over the past like 4 years. Um I like lost my dad last year. I recently lost my like tita the other month. So much, and that takes so like a heavy toll off like so much pressure and like so much grief onto me, and I can't
yeah.
even imagine being that multiplied by 100 within the
Mm,
span of a year.
yeah.
And so just seeing that, um, no more if you're watching this, if you're listening to this, I love you. And it's just the fact that like, oh, people like them are still be able to continue doing their work, connecting with the community, uplifting other artists, creating their own art is so inspiring to me. That like
Yeah,
all this
yeah,
tragic shit is happening to you, and you choose to still keep going, is why I also want to keep going. So that those first two episodes, hearing the history of the Bay and then hearing what like is transpiring now, or then with Palestine last year was just I want to keep doing this more.
yeah. I mean,
Um,
it's exactly what you said, like taking something that is so heavy and whatever, alchemizing it, converting it in some way into something that is positive, whether it moves somebody to act and like go to a protest or change something that they do in their day, like start observing a boycott, um or even if it's just that we can make people feel a little bit less gaslit, in the way that I have, as somebody who has practiced journalism for many years, has felt by like the media's portrayal of the genocide, of the media's portrayal of houselessness as like dehumanizing people who are struggling right now. um yeah, I mean, hopefully people feel slightly less gaslit, and know that uh they have some comrades
in the space.
in the space.
Yeah. Yeah, just going off of that, like I think um I mean for me personally, I could be just blowing smoke right now. And just talking whatever ramble bullshit, but that's kind of like the part of what this camera movement, automatic camera movement for
Oh,
Toshi's camera is
sorry.
tripping me
I
out
know I
sometimes.
can't turn it
No,
off.
you're fine. That's just my ADHD. But I think personally, when I was like before I started working, I felt like a lot of like I knew like there's like community out there, but I feel like it was just really hard to come in contact with it or just know like certain people um who lets me who just reveals another like a community in the world that like I want to be a part of. And I think for at least for politics, as politics is and stuff, it's very like cannibalistic in terms of like everybody's trying to, I guess Twitter really like emphasizes this where it's just kind of like, oh, trying to diminish somebody's like, I don't know, call out culture, I guess. Um, it's just like this is like related to like what Dean talked about, where it's just kind of like um I guess diminishing somebody's actions just because it doesn't fully align with like your sense of like what um a right protest is. It's this
Mm-hmm.
you know how like Dean used the example of like why are people like not like like doing like peaceful protests and stuff. This would like this puts us back so many years and stuff. But it was just like, why is your idea of a rightful protest supposed to be peaceful when like
Mm.
um stuff like that? This is not like this is just me stretching or kind of like trying to like link together something, but it's just the whole energy of kind of like being distrustful of people around you when you're all fighting for the same thing. Um,
Yeah, yeah,
is
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
just like that's what I really felt during that time when we first started working. But when once I started to learn more about people's stories and stuff, um, and just like seeing like what communities are out there within like a block away from me, is it made me feel more connected again with my humanity and stuff because right now it's so easy to just log on to Instagram or Twitter and just see how much crazy shit is happening and you're just stressed out like
Sure.
you're just stressed out first thing in the morning, just reading everything what's happening, and you haven't even got out of bed yet. Like
Yeah, yeah,
that was
yeah,
like the reality I was living in. But I guess just
yeah.
being able to edit and listen to all these stories for all the guests made me just kind of like really slow down and really like appreciate the connection that like I make nowadays. Um,
Yeah, no, for
so
sure. Yeah, like I think we're thinking of the same thing. Like for me, the going from writing like, 2000 word articles where it's kind of like your name is in the byline, but you are kind of faceless, and you're not supposed to impose on the reader by like giving any clues about like your own thoughts on the subject, versus a podcast where like it is a medium where it's like we are expected to like, and I think it's something that's been missing from traditional news is like things like emotions, things like how news affects us individually and our own
Mhm.
lives. Like those are pieces of the conversations. If it's like a decent episode, those things should come into play in a way that you can't really get from traditional articles often, or even or the short form video, of course. Like
Mhm.
whether or not TikTok survives in a month, people can come back to the podcast episodes.
Yeah, who you're gonna like like even when all like infrastructure is down, like the news you're gonna like listen to and that's more relevant to you is your local person, is whoever's in
Yeah.
your community, and hopefully people who are in San Francisco or in the Bay Area, if they listen to our episodes, one, they know what bias we're already on already, and what like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
hopefully they're not like what is like they're just like coming off of just like yeah they're gonna talk about. I'm not even gonna give an example on that, but um they know like what aspect of life, what like perspective of life we're coming from at least, and they understand like what we're
Yeah.
reporting on and
Yeah.
stuff. I think the problem like obviously like the problem with just like traditional media, it shows it as non-bias, it promotes it as non-bias because like I guess it's traditional media for the masses, but in the behind the scenes and like how it's like production wise it's obviously not biased, or it's biased as hell. um
Mm,
but it's not like advertised as or stuff.
right. Right.
um I guess that's how most shit is, but hopefully with us you get a more authentic feel. It's just like, oh, we know where these people are coming from.
Yeah, I mean,
And
ideally, like in a good conversation, like it's kind of like a good podcast. Like it is like conversation with a friend where you're like sort of anticipating the things that are of most importance in talking about any topic. Sorry, so this is a very behind the scenes, like uh, behind the kitchen door at a restaurant type of episode. Um, this is the kind of stuff that I could talk about forever. Uh, and so, yeah, I mean, thank you to everybody out there for not only listening to this episode, but listening to um, everything that
yeah,
we've put out. Also, thank you to Caleb for being the latest Patreon subscriber.
yeah, oh my god.
Uh,
We didn't upload for like a month because of so much shit happening personally and
yeah, coming
politically.
soon, coming soon.
Yeah,
But yeah,
and
thank you,
then
Caleb from Indiana.
thank you.
Um, I
Thanks.
also wanted to say that we have like a bunch of episodes that are already recorded. And again, they're going to come out early next year. Should I give people like a little taste?
Yeah, if you want.
We're going to
Yeah.
talk about Waymos finally. We have not addressed robotaxis with Jasmine Ehrlich, a new friend of mine who I know listens to the podcast. And we met in Baltimore. Anyway, so she wrote basically an article about um, the burning of a Waymo at the Chinese New Year parade here earlier this year. We're also going to talk about um, what people in Japan are doing around Palestine with my friend Mai and a couple of other activists that I met when I was in Tokyo in November. And Dean Spade's gonna come back. We got Chanel Gallant and Elaine Lamb, who are gonna talk about their new book about migrant sex workers and people that we should be centering in any conversations around justice right now because um, they are on the margins.
Mhm.
And like in addition,
You could say one more.
yeah, okay. I'll
Yeah.
stop.
Yeah, because we have
Uh,
so much.
we do. We
We're not
really
even
do. We
that was like
really do.
half of like what we have already.
Yeah, Tracy Rosenthal and Leonardo Vilches are gonna come and talk about their book "Abolish rent, which I'm stoked about, and abolishing landlords.
Yeah, so that's so much content already, and we obviously gonna like upload like once a week. But if you want to listen to them all and have early access to that, you can subscribe to our Patreon at patreon.com slash
That is
San
true.
Francisco. Perfect segue for that.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you to Tofu. Thank you for doing this with me and
Oh, thank you
you
to
know,
you for providing
all of the
stability.
late night texts and all of that.
Yes. Hold on, I kind of
Um,
want to end this little episode with a little story of like me, like kind of like onboarding onto his, because it was like this time last year when we were setting this up, and I was just like, okay, it's gonna be our. We were setting up our first call,
right.
and the Toshio didn't pick up when we scheduled the call, and so he didn't. You
I
didn't.
do not remember this.
I remember this very vividly, where it was just like you didn't text me or pick up until like 2 hours after.
I hope I apologized
Oh, you
profusely, and
did.
I
You
hope that you
did.
accepted my apology clearly.
Well,
But
I'm here now, so just like yeah.
yeah,
But I wanted to bring
oof.
this up because it's funny in retrospect, and I was just kind of like, for background, I was like here,
Uh,
in San Jose, and I wasn't living here with my family yet. And then I was just like, okay, I'll talk with Toshio, and then I'll go to SF. I wasn't driving at the time, so I took Bart. You didn't pick up my call or my text. And so I was just
oh,
like, all right, I'm gonna go on BART. And then once I
oof.
like got off Daily City, you answered. I was just like,
Oh my. See, that's not cool.
you can call me in an hour and stuff. I was very
This, yeah.
polite in text, and I was just like, "Yeah, it's fine, no worries. I know
Oh,
life like this is also being me for real, but also kind of like putting up a face. Like I know life happens and stuff, but yeah, we can call in, like an hour." So I'm at the
this
gym talking to Toshio, and then we had that
yes.
conversation.
Okay, okay, okay. Because it was a phone
Uh,
conversation.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't stand you up in a physical location though.
Oh no,
I
no, no.
definitely that is a
I'd
resolution
be
2025.
more pissed.
2025 resolution. I have a paper schedule that I intend to use every day
And
of
you don't have,
2025.
and you have me editing, so you have more
Yes.
time to focus on that.
Stoked. Stoked.
But yeah, I was telling my friends like, this motherfucker's lucky I need money right now because I didn't have any
Oof.
because I had work, but it was very sporadic. And so you were offering me a very consistent, like at least work, and so it was just like, all right, whatever, and it worked out well. So I'm glad it worked
Good.
out well.
Good, good. Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
this is
no.
me giving a behind early scenes that I just wanted to show in
I
public.
am sorry to have caused you stress. I am, I am still learning. It still feels like a podcast after 2 years. I literally was like, I was barely on social media even as of this time last year. I just started making like short
Yeah,
form
and look,
videos about a year ago.
oh yeah, and also I can just go off on that, just more analytics. Um, since in addition to like what? Oh, in addition to like 5 patrons to 53, from like 50 subs on YouTube, we now have 273.
That's
From
good.
2,000 followers on Instagram, we have now at 8,000. And then
You got to
from like
10x these.
yeah, one like I think 1,000 followers on TikTok, we have 7,000 followers on TikTok.
Ooh,
Numbers or whatever, but it's still
yeah,
just kind of like crazy. Like it's
that's
so funny
good.
whenever I
Yeah.
appear on the timelines to like announce some stuff. And then people who are just following it San Francisco were just like, I didn't know you were the
Oh,
editor
dope.
producer on this. I was
Dope. Yeah,
just
yeah,
like
yeah.
surprised.
No,
Cool.
it
I
is
still get
cool.
those like every now and then. So it's like really funny to see like friends from high school be going, I did not know you were a part of San Francisco. I've been following for about 3 months now. I did not know that.
Oh, dope. Yeah, no, I
So
mean, it's
it's
cool to hear. Like, I mean, Caleb, again, thank you. You are in Indiana and word is getting out across state lines. Yeah, hearing from like random like Asians, random like queer Asians, trans Asians across the country.
our
Um,
intersections.
the word is out. I know.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
stoked. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, this year would love to like, in addition to doing these live shows, I would love to start getting back into doing like we started to do a sort of behind the scenes Patreon episodes, and because of time, we are readjusting. And so, if anybody has a question, please call us. We can put our voicemail in the show notes, and yeah, leave us a message so we could play it and answer any question that you have.
Would be wait, sorry.
Maybe not very well, but
Wait, sorry. So in terms of voicemail, is it like a soundbite or kind of like a we'll post it on our story or post it on like
like
a short?
a little question. Yeah, like a question of any sort. A comment is cool too.
Yeah,
Um,
questions, comments, we'll reply to those. Okay, cool.
yes. And oh, here, our number is 415-354-1074.
Oh, wait, we actually have a line.
We do. I mean, it's a
Oh,
Google Voice. So yeah.
oh, okay. This is why I'm like, okay, I did not know about this. Okay, cool.
So yeah, call us. Call us.
The San Francisco household
Yeah.
type thing. Oh, cool. Okay,
All
cool.
right. All right.
Um,
Yeah.
anything else you want to talk about?
No, I'm just, yeah, I'm like, as shitty as things feel in the zeitgeist right now, like I am stoked that this is a project that like I got to know you better, and I'm still, I mean, like we've gotten to hang out. I do like a project based friendship. I'm finding as I get older, I'm like, let's work on something. And so that's been like fun. I've gotten to know like, yeah, all of the people that we've interviewed so much better. And like a bunch of them were like random acquaintances who become friends. Um yeah, I'm just in spite of all the bad things happening in the zeitgeist, this is the reaction of people, and like the kindness of people who have reached out has given me a little bit of hope, or a lot bit of hope, uh that, you know, there's reasons to go on. That's kind of like, that sounds like I'm saying podcasts are the meaning of life or something, but which is not what I mean. But
That's like a. I was like, what? Wait a minute,
something,
what?
yeah. Something a little bit less embarrassing. Insert insert. But yeah, thank you to everybody. Thank you to Tofu um for this past year. And I am so stoked about the new shit coming to you in January.
Cool. Yeah. Thank y'all for listening, watching, and you'll hear us from the next piece of content.
Yes.
But yeah. All right. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Sad Francisco. I am Toshio Meronek, and my co-producer is Tofu Estolas. Patreon.com/Sad Francisco is where you can find our past episodes and transcripts, and it's also where you can help us out with a donation. And if you do, it comes with some benefits like getting the episodes a few days early, and our gratitude for allowing us to keep making this podcast, which we love to do. See you next time in Sad Francisco.